And so going beyond the offensive line position, of course, there are going to be stories that break during August camp, but much of it's anticipated in regards to what positions you are eyeing. So where are those best battles on both lines of the scrimmage?
It's interesting. It doesn't really feel like there are any huge battles that are percolating at Oklahoma as fall camp draws closer and closer. You know who the quarterback is, right? Jackson Arnold's the guy. You know who your starting running back is, Gavin Sawchuk, who closed the 2023 season with 5 straight 100-plus yard contests. Bauer Sharp, the Southeastern Louisiana transfer, has been wondrous throughout spring practices, has really made a strong impression and solidified himself as the starting tight end heading into the season. The Sooners are very deep at wide receiver, very deep. Purdue transfer Deion Burks absolutely has the potential to be one of the best and most productive wide receivers in all of college football. If he stays healthy and he is getting the share of targets that his skill set deserves and demands, he'll be in the running for the Biletnikoff, Mark. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility whatsoever. Nick Anderson returns, tied for the Big 12 lead in touchdown catches a year ago. Jaden Gibson had plenty of nice moments. Jalil Farouk is a 2-year starter. And there are others. Again, younger guys coming up in this Oklahoma system. Andrell Anthony, let's not forget about him, the Michigan transfer, who was Oklahoma's most productive wide receiver over the first half of the season last year before suffering a season-ending injury against Texas. And you look at some of the younger guys, Jaquays Petaway brings a lot of excitement to the table. Brennan Thompson is a speed merchant. So regardless of what the wide receiver rotation looks like, there are probably 7 or 8 guys that you're going to see at that position on a regular basis for Oklahoma. You flip over to the defensive side of the ball. The addition of Dominic Williams was massive for Oklahoma because that was kind of the one position where the typical OU fan was a little bit uncertain about what it was going to look like. You had a couple of very outstanding true freshman defensive tackles that made plays in spring, and David Stone, the former 5-star recruit, and Jaden Jackson, an IMG Academy product. But even so, it was a question of who are you going to plug in against, or I should say alongside incumbent starter Dejon Terry at defensive tackle. Dominic Williams was one of the most coveted players at any position in the entire spring portal cycle, maybe the most coveted. So he is an instant impact dude, instantly helps solidify Oklahoma on the interior of the trenches. And elsewhere on defense, the Sooners bring back 9 of 11 starters, Mark. So it's not as if there's a lot to figure out defensively. You know what you're rocking with. Your guys are going to be a year older and a year wiser in Brent Venables' system. And there's a ton of depth as well. There are, I'll use cornerback and safety as examples of this. Cornerback, your 2 starters are in all likelihood Gentry Williams and Woody Washington. But you can roll out a guy like Des Malone, a 3-year starter at San Diego State who transferred to Oklahoma in the offseason. Makari Vickers and Jacoby Johnson are really exciting young players. Peyton Bowen's younger brother, Eli, is only a true freshman, but make no mistake, he may be every bit as good of a football player as his older brother is, and his older brother obviously made quite the impact at Oklahoma last year as a true freshman at safety. And as you transition to safety, it's Peyton Bowen, it's Billy Bowman, who should be in the running for the Thorpe Award. Robert Spears Jennings is probably going to be the 3rd guy in that mix. Rising Jr., big body. Obviously, Bowman and Bowen are 2 smaller guys at the safety position. Good hitters. They run well. They're not huge. They're not enforcers by any means. Robert Spears Jennings is that. So in the secondary and really across the entire defense, Danny Stutzman's return at middle linebacker is huge for Oklahoma. But there's so much to be confident in on that side of the ball. It really does feel like this is going to be Brent Venables' best defense during his tenure as head coach at Oklahoma by a long shot. They should be markedly better than they were a season ago.
Parker Thune breaking down OU football for us. Of course, we are just about 5 or 6 weeks away from Big 12 Media Days. And then once that hits, we slide right into August camp and we're off and running.